Hey, happy Sunday, everybody. Thanks for tuning in this evening. I know it's a little late here, later than our normal sessions that we do, and we usually don't do them on weekends. But I felt like just dropping this video today, letting y'all know as to what I'm looking at moving into next week. I know last week we had a good week. A lot of us were profitable, making some of those gains on some of these shares we've been following, and we're looking to do the same this week. For those of y'all that are new to the channel, we'd like to look out for those pre-breakout stocks, ones that are looking to hit certain levels, looking to build up volume and momentum and trying to hit some of these highs. Whether it's something they hit in the past or something we're looking to hit a new high on, we're trying to call it before they actually take off and trying to get into these positions here and try to, just wait for that pop to happen here. But if that's something you like to see, things you're trying to do, as far as making some money, putting some in your pocket, hit the subscribe button, notification bell, be notified every time I release one of these videos. For those of y'all that are new to the channel also, we do have a Discord. If you'd like to chat live, more on a real-time level, join the link below. We're always in there every day, chopping it up, looking for those call-outs, whether they, hit the levels we're looking at, we're buying or selling, and we're trying to do it all here on this channel. And those of y'all that are following, appreciate the love. Every day we try to do something new. But we are after the profits here, and we're trying to put some money in everybody's pockets. But let's go ahead and jump right in it today. This is a, kind of a sneak peek into what we're doing next week. I usually don't provide these videos over the weekend. Every now and again, there's just something that catches my attention that I want to, bring up and kind of just let y'all know, fill y'all in on what it is I'm looking at, and maybe just share your thoughts as well on what we're discussing here. But right now we still have 4 of these stocks that we've been looking over the last week, kind of monitoring, letting them, do their thing, moving up and down throughout the market as the week played on. I ended up taking some positions on some of these. They just didn't end up, popping like we were expecting them to. It looked like they, started to break out, but they ended up pulling back as the market pulled back also. So it's not necessarily the stocks themselves. People were just taking profits on Friday when we started calling these out. I like to provide these videos daily, so I know we can't always make a win every single day. The market does, have its red days sometimes. But we're looking to recover on a lot of these stocks as we start to hit these key levels again, whether it's a buy position or just a breakout position here as far as hitting those levels. I just want to call it out and just let me know what y'all think here. But off the back, we have SPRT, which was support.com. This is one I've been following for weeks now. I've been in and out of this stock here, making some money a couple different times, different positions, different, amount of shares. But this has been a real fun ride stock that we've been playing with here over the last few weeks. As you can see on the daily here, we've kind of been up and down over the last few days, hitting highs, hitting lows. I mean, we still hold levels, but we've been coming up and down. It's been real volatile over the last, couple of weeks here. And it's not over yet for this stock. I just kind of wanted to let y'all know as to, for those of y'all that haven't been, updated on what this stock has been doing, or if you don't even know about support.com. This is a technology stock as they're looking into merging here in the next couple of weeks in September sometime with a Bitcoin mining company. And this is supposed to be a big deal to where if this merger ends up happening, they're going to be the only company with an actual power plant that it will be mining Bitcoin. So as far as all the details involved in that, maybe we'll do a separate video and cover support.com on its own. All I know is that we do have some highs that we're starting to test again, and we've come a long ways. We bought in back a couple of weeks ago around $4 or so. As you can see, we've already hit highs close to 11. For those of y'all that did buy in at the $4 on the first video when we called these updates or whatever, these moves, you've probably doubled your money, maybe even tripled your money if you sold out at the high there. But right now we do have a price target, they're saying around $36. And as you can see, we squeeze up pretty fast here. We move up $2 to $3 a day sometimes. Even though we come back down, this price can jump pretty fast here. But we do have a pretty high short interest in this stock also. I believe it's like 28% or something. But as volume draws into this stock, a lot of attention draws into this stock, and people start buying it up and start squeezing these sellers out of their positions, and this is why that price can jump pretty rapidly there. But as you can see, on Friday we had a lot of volume. We closed the day, we're now 1,200% or so above our daily average. Even though it was on the sell side, we pushed up in the morning hitting that high. I'm still holding my position even though we came back down more or less where I'm I bought in because I did sell around 7, and then I bought back in at 8. So well, $8 is a good level. As you can see here, kind of digging in a little more, looking at the 4-hour. $8, you know, this is kind of a support level, as we hit this level before in the past. Came down a little lower, you know, usually around 810, 820 or so would probably be a better level to hold. 830 maybe even, where I have the line drawn about, yeah, 833. But we're still sitting on a moving average, so it's not too bad, even though we did come down a few more cents. We're still riding that moving average, that 21 day, and we're looking to push back up hopefully come tomorrow. $8 I would call a good level, but before we buy in, I would wait to see, you know, the green candle start to form on an uptrend, because if we end up breaking through this $8 level, we can come all the way down to $7, give or take. $7.50, I've seen it recently, but we've come all the way down to 7, a little bit below 7. But we've also pushed right back up the same day, so maybe wait for the market to open, see how this is moving in the pre-market. Maybe if you do have an opportunity to get in at a better number there, you know, 750 or so, even 7, that would be a good time to call it. But if we do start pushing up towards this VWAP, you may also start thinking about when would be a good time to buy in, because the VWAP right now on the 5-minute, we're holding around 950 or so. And as I said, this stock can jump pretty fast, go to 850 in a second or two, you know. 50 cents, $1, it'll squeeze up like pretty fast. So something to just keep in mind if you do decide to jump on this stock. I'm going to provide a video in the morning just to let y'all know more or less where this stock is moving and how the volume's looking, things like that. You know, before we actually want to take a position. These are just ones I want y'all to keep on the radar. If y'all don't already have them on the watch list, add them. Those of y'all that have been in the Discord, I've been calling it out. You already know what I'm talking about. We see how fast this stock moves, and we're really trying to make some money this week on this one if we can push up higher, breaking this $11 level here. But give or take, this is a good level to break through. If we end up on the low side, breaking through 8, holding support on 8, which we're kind of doing right now, maybe pushing back up, breaking through $11 this week. But moving on to the next stock, Clover Health Investments. This is another one that we talked about last week. We did see this one squeeze up also. We squeezed up back in June, as you can see, hitting a high of almost $30, you know, in a couple of days. We jumped, you know, $10, $15 just in one day there. See that big gap up? And this one here also has a high short interest of like 30-something%. We hit a high, as you can see. Where's it at here? Back on Thursday, Wednesday and Thursday, we're pumping. We started breaking through that moving average on the 4-hour, but we came up the 200 exponential moving average, but we ended up coming back down. As you can see, we kind of seen some resistance there, and we came back to the 50 average, 50-day moving average there. But we're still holding a support around this level, $8 or so, as we look to squeeze back up here. We do have to break through this 920, give or take, 922. This is where I ended up buying last week, as you've seen on that video, and I ended up taking a loss because of the market coming down. And I could have held my position, but I actually started seeing something else I was interested in. So I said, hey, I cut my loss, pulled out, but I'm looking to jump back in come tomorrow, just to see where the market's actually moving in the morning. Will make me decide if I'm going to end up taking another position or not. But I'm definitely keeping this one on the radar. We had that volume starting to build up on Friday, but we do need to, you know, let this draw in a little more attention before we can actually see that squeeze. But these stocks can move, man. These ones can move pretty fast. That high short interest in here, a little bit of volume can start squeezing those sellers out of those positions. This stock here, if you want to call it, is to a good buy point. Pulling it up, $8 is actually all the way on the low. If you look here on the 30-minute, if you're looking to come down lower, you know, we'll probably be breaking lower lows, you know, and I don't know if that's a good sign as to wanting to buy in. So I would call it around this level, looking for it to break above the VWAP though. If we can get 2 green candles to close above the VWAP, I would say, you know, 845, 850 or so. That's when I would call the buy point, just to know that we're starting to move back up. I would hate for us to test the VWAP and push back down, or continue to move back down as the market opens. Because right now, as you can see, you know, we had a lot of red on Friday. You know, compared to what I got on here in the green, we had a lot of red, a lot of selling, a lot of profit taking. So let's just wait for morning and see how we're moving. Hopefully we can get that volume to come back in. They had good earnings last week, and we started to sell off after that nice little push up. So I really feel like we're going to start to climb again. You know, if they're making money, why wouldn't we? You know, I know just people hate on this stock. reason why they keep it in check in that price. But if we can get another, enough attention back in here again, we might start to see these higher levels again, which is pretty exciting, which I'm waiting on. But yeah, sorry y'all, I know I talk a lot over here ranting on. I get excited about my trading here. But stock number 3, DYAI, this is one that I was following yesterday, Dyadic International. They did have earnings that came out that weren't all that good, which I ended up pulling out my positions as I felt, there was no volume coming in. I felt the price wasn't really moving. So I looked at maybe trading something else and maybe jumping back in. Right now we're at a level we closed pretty much where I had a position last week. I think I bought in around 470 or so. 450 I would call it would be a good level if you're able to get in, which I'm hoping it can come back down here in the morning. And I'm looking to buy back in on this position here. As you can see, we broke through the 200-day moving average on the daily here, which we've been trending down for a while. I don't want to get in too much detail on this stock. You can follow, check out my video that I posted if you are following my channel here. And just look up the DYAI stock, and it'll give you a breakdown on exactly how these trend lines are working for us here. But just as a short, simple analysis, we are testing that 200-day moving average, also breaking through that trend line we have drawn from highs over on the weekly here, because we're following that weekly. And this trend line here, this is the one I drew on the daily, I believe. Or maybe it's the 4-hour. So that was another high. So we have certain levels that we're drawing here that we're trying to follow. And as you can see here, the last 3 days we've been testing that level, looking to break out on both of those. And we've been closing still in the green here, so that's still a good sign, showing that support around 450 or so. Not only that, they got a COVID, technology that they got as far as how they can get, vaccines and diagnostics and treatments out, across the world pretty fast. I'm not sure how they do it. Check out their website. Check out my other video as to the explanation I gave as to what I knew on this stock. Bottom line is we're looking to break through this $5 level come next week as COVID starts to spike moving into these winter months. I mean, I know this is something that's going to break out. And not only that, we already have highs that we hit that we're looking to test again. We had 556, looking to break through that level again. Let's see, what else do we have here? 560. Look, see how we're consolidating? We've been testing these levels here, and we're starting to push back up. On that 1 hour, we're still trending up on that 50-day moving average. So we're going to end up probably breaking through this next week is what I'm looking to do. I'm excited about this one, looking to get back in around 450, hopefully, letting it come down to that price, and I'll be looking to grab another position there. But last stock of the day, we have WORX. I know y'all were excited about this one a couple weeks back on the analysis that I provided on this one. We were able to get in at a good number before the breakout, and then we shot up to that $5 mark. You can check out the video. I believe we bought in around 270, I believe it was, give or take. And we started to see it, curl back up here. This was back here, as you can see. We started to see this curl back up here. So maybe it was like right here, that breakout. I'm not sure. I bought in at one of these levels, and we knew that breakout was going to come again. We called it. We were able to ride it up. We sold out around $5 or so. I think it was 4 something I sold out. And as you can see, we've come all the way back down. And you know how we are. We like to buy things on the low. Get those sale prices there. Right now the daily is still closed in the red. But we have kicked back up since we closed at 273. We pushed back up to 279. And I actually, bought in on this stock here at a pretty hefty position on Friday. I'm looking to maybe push up to these higher levels again as we look, checking the 4-hour. We're still trending up here, testing those levels, but we're also consolidating at the same time. So as we start to squeeze, hitting these moving averages, consolidating into this wedge here, I'm hoping to break out again. I don't know if it'll happen Monday. We're going to see how the volume is in the morning, just to know if I'm going to be keeping the position I have. I might look at doing something else. Who knows? It depends how the day plays out. But these are what I'm calling out as to what I can see making some high gains pretty fast moving into next week. And you want to check out those other videos I posted on these stocks. Maybe about a week ago. You can see what we're talking about there as to how these ones move. right now, volume wasn't too crazy on Friday for WORX, but the volume can also draw into this one pretty fast. That's kind of what happened back then also. We started the day at like 8% in the pre-market, and by the time the market opened, we were already at 100% of volume just as we broke through a level. So just keep that in mind here. 270, 269. That's probably the level to hold there. If we start to break below that, I'm certainly gonna pull my position there. But these are the four I'm looking to, make some profits on moving into next week. Let me know what y'all think. Post some comments below. Check out the Discord if y'all want to talk. Got some questions you want answered. I'm always in there, looking for some feedback. But just let me know what y'all think, and we'll talk again in the morning and see how the market's doing in the pre-market. But appreciate y'all tuning in on this Sunday here. I know it's late, but we'll catch up with y'all in the morning again. Peace out.